stage set for PNG's inaugural Energy Summit. Hela judge calls for unity in provincial justice sector. And better clinical care for Bougainville.
This is National MTV News with Helen Sayer.
Good evening and thank you for joining me for Wednesday's news. The stage is set for Papua New Guinea to host its inaugural Energy Summit at the end of the month. Chairman of the organizing committee, Peter Koim, said the time is right to bring buyers and investors into the country. About 500 delegates are expected to attend the summit. A news conference was held today in light of the country's inaugural Energy Summit, which will run from the 28th of February to the 2nd of March this year. The summit will be hosted by PNG's natural gas and oil company, Kumul Petroleum Holdings, with the theme Unlocking Papua New Guinea's Energy Potential.
Papua New Guinea is one of these hydrocarbon provinces. It's a fairly underexplored country right now. We have got vast offshore opportunities that big companies need to come and drill. We've got in-country or on-land onshore areas that have virtually remained underexplored.
According to Mr. Koim, the summit is key to exposing medium and long-term opportunities for PNG to become a major LNG producer in the region. Other objectives of the summit are to focus on PNG's use of clean energy and to promote and market PNG's hydrocarbon resource base.
So the potential to export energy from Papua New Guinea is there. But how do you harness this? By bringing the people who are going to invest hard dollars into this country and for them to see it rather than keeping them in Australia or in Singapore, in Sydney, and then people like me or Minister Duban, we go and talk to them and that we have a big energy potential. I think it's better for these people to come and see us here.
Mr. Koim said this is a major milestone for the petroleum and energy industry. He said plans for unconventional resource development as well as growth in the domestic power and downstream sectors will be discussed in the summit. Deli Waigeno, National MTV News. Court files have been served on the 6 men charged for piracy and murder in Port Moresby in 2016. The 6 co-accused appeared before Magistrate John Kalmi at the Bomana District Court this morning.
The 6 accused are Peter Kavea, Bobby Varua, Leka Rabia, Tatana Vediho, Nola Lawrence and Boge Kevau. All are aged between 25 and 40 years. They appeared without a lawyer and informed the courts that they had received their police and their briefs. Magistrate Kaumi told the 6 men that they needed a lawyer so he can represent them in court. The 6 have been in custody since their arrest in August 2016. Police alleged that they killed a fisherman in August last year and stole the engine of his boat. When their case returns to court on March 6th, the magistrate will be hearing submissions on the sufficiency of the evidence. The 6 are remanded at the Bomana prison outside Port Moresby. Taklagunga, National MTV News.
Loman Sawari, the asylum seeker who was charged for falsifying information, has expressed disappointment after another adjournment to his bail application and arraignment hearing. The 21-year-old Iranian was supposed to have his case heard by the Baroko District Courts this afternoon, but that did not eventuate. Police prosecution told Sawari and his lawyer that there was no magistrate present to hear the applications.
Sawari's case was adjourned to this afternoon because the arresting officer wrote the incorrect name of Sawari's village on the information sheet, which was presented to the Baroko District Court yesterday. Magistrate Maristela Pineup, upon hearing that the village name was incorrect, instructed the police prosecution to confirm Sawari's village name before she could read out the allegation. Sawari was charged with falsifying information. Police alleged that he used false information to obtain travel documents from the Immigration and Citizenship Authority services in July 2016. Sawari then used the travel documents and traveled to Fiji last month. However, he was deported to Papua New Guinea last Friday. This afternoon, Sawari appeared with his lawyer, Loani Henau. However, they were told to return tomorrow because certain court documents were not filed at the District Court Registry, and now told media personnel that they will be pleading not guilty to the charge and will be applying for bail when the case returns to court. Thakle Gunga, National MTV News.
Hela resident Judge Justice Mating Ipang says the wheels of justice in Hela must work together for Hela to change. This follows the high number of outstanding bench warrants dating back as far as 1992. Justice Ipang says the court system is not working because authorities responsible for arresting and prosecuting lawbreakers do not exist. He made these remarks at the opening of the 2017 legal year in Tari on Monday.
Justice Ipang, Hela Governor Francis Potape, members of the legal fraternity and law enforcement officers gathered on Monday to launch the 2017 legal year for Hela province in Tari. The program began with an inspection by the resident judge before formal proceedings took place. It was a small turnout by the locals. However, this did not stop Justice Ipang to highlight a key element of what Hela has been lacking to support the court system perform its roles in this part of the country where tribal fights, murder and rape are rife. Justice Ipang says Hela has a high number of cases reported, but they do not make it to the courts for justice to be served.
But for one reason or another, it's not translated into the police system, district court system, and the national court system, and CIS. We have a big problem. So if we are truly concerned about law and order situation in Tari and Hela, those on the bench warrant list must be arrested, brought to justice, and face their path.
Justice Ipang revealed that so far in 2017, only 6 cases were recorded at the National Court Registry in Tari. Unlocking the wheels of justice is Hela's biggest challenge.
The problem I'm trying to ask is, can we make the system working? Can we have the police working, the district court working, the national court working, when all the wheels of the law and justice sector in the province are working, everything will go in order.
Speaking to those who attended the event, Governor Francis Potape made a strong call for police and leaders to perform their task.
Leaders, if you know that there is a criminal living amongst you, you report to the police station. A policeman who dies in the line of duty has a name worthy to be written down than a policeman who only lives for allowance and pay and gives a lot of excuses.
Hela has fought hard to establish a national court with a disposal of a resident judge in the past 2 years, with 2017 as the 3rd year. For a start, Governor Potape believes the 79 outstanding bench warrants must be executed to see the court system in Hela function with full authority.
The court orders must be effected. Court orders must be effected. Arrests must be made. We now need to grow the court system in this province. The leaders and the people must work together to grow the court system in this province. Court and justice.
A dedication prayer opened Hela's 2017 legal year with the team upholding the rule of law. Jack Lapave Jr., National MTV News.
Following the legal year opening, Hela resident Judge Justice Mating Ipang says Correctional Service Commissioner Michael Waipo will be served court summons for the delay in reopening Howard Jail. Justice Ipang said Howard Jail is an important institution for Hela's law and justice sector. The Howard Jail has been closed for the past 20 years, forcing remandees to be transported to Buyapi Jail in Southern Highlands Province.
I want answers to Howard Jail. And under my discretion and power as a judge of the National and Supreme Court, I am going to summon Commissioner Waipo to come and to explain to us what's going on. We cannot afford any longer to keep our remandees and prisoners at Buyapi. The experiences have shown that it's very costly, it's very risky.
Authorities in Hela are calling on the Correctional Service Commissioner Michael Waipo to send CS officers to Hawa Jail so it can be reopened. Hawa Jail Commander Jim Cummins says houses are ready and is seeking answers from CS authorities in Port Moresby. He made this statement following a recent visit by Hela resident Judge Justice Martin Ipang, Hela Governor Francis Potape and other members of the law and justice sector.
Our jail is about 20 minutes drive out of Tari town. It's a government facility neglected by authorities for the last 20 years. Bushes have grown unchecked since its closure in 1997. However, most of its facilities remain in good condition, but there are no correctional service officers serving the post. On Monday, a contingent including Hela resident Judge Justice Martin Ipang, Hela Governor Francis Potape and other officers from the law and justice sector paid an unplanned visit to the facility.
Total of 21 houses, staff houses are now available, but I would ask for additional manpower from the Office of the Commissioner.
The Our Jail can house 48 to nearly 200 prisoners. Visiting the jail, Governor Potape wants this facility be opened so justice can be served.
The court system in Hela will only work if we have a proper jail system. I'm calling on the government to make this correctional institution work now.
A sum of 300,000 has been allocated by the Hela provincial government to help support the jail. Out of 21 houses, 17 are ready to be used, with 4 needing maintenance. Lack of consultation between provincial authorities and correctional service in the past was partly blamed for the jail being closed and forgotten. But Governor Potape says with the current call-out operation and outstanding court cases, something must be done to see this important government institution up and running.
As far as the leadership is under concern, the land is here, houses are here. We provide a bit of money for the operation to kickstart for maintenance and buying tools and materials and cooking stuff and so forth. So we are ready to assist. So I'm calling on the government to now send the officers to man this place.
A local church leader says the jail must be reopened.
So me to also must of him this year. This year must come up now. No need on police. Police can come back. All of him and by Mongut Blami. You want also.
Jack Lopave, Junior National, MTV News.
Buimo Jail Commander Felix Namane is extending a call to business houses to assist in their rehabilitation program. He says employment will instill values in most inmates who have had few opportunities in life. Mr. Namane was speaking at the signing of an employment contract for inmate Donald Pony. Harry Agimbari with this story.
Life can be unforgiving in the big city, and second chances are even rarer. But that is about to change for Donald Pony, an inmate from the Buimo Correctional Facilities. Pony was a jail transferee from Manus and had served 12 years of his term. Under Buimo's lessons, they are taught useful skills for smooth reintegration back into a community.
Na this year 2017 I'm finished na kami come outside na me hopefully lo make him good plan and new plan start lo life lo again time come outside lo house Caragos.
An inmate must also master an environment that is less stringent on routines. Buimo's management believes that employment covers significant ground to teach an inmate responsibility and respect.
Apil Romino, some business houses lo. Mas helping me partner one time correctional service now we can provide a target and specific training for our citizens before they can reintegrate or release from the prison and then reintegrate back to the community.
The logistics company that signed up for the initiative says the community at large has a responsibility to help in making communities safer.
The big company, local company where we play, just like any other small company running around here and there try to survive. Having those challenges are messed up, but like I said, every other company, whether you are local or international, you have the community obligation. Try and give him support to the community.
Their move was to show that a business can show trust and give a second chance. Harry Agimbari, National MTV News, Lae.
In the news ahead, Nasfund and Kina Securities seal a deal on the administration of funds and more concerns on the tuition fee-free funds. Stay with us. Welcome back. Deputy Opposition Leader Sam Basil has acknowledged the decision made by Minister for State-Owned Enterprises William Duma and Defence Minister Fabian Pock to step aside and allow investigations into the allegations of their involvement in the Manu Manu land deal. Basil, in a press conference this afternoon in Lae, thanked the two ministers for allowing transparency and justice to prevail over political convenience. The opposition has welcomed the Prime Minister's approval for an inquiry into the allegations levied against the two ministers. However, Basil challenged the Prime Minister to also look into their other commission of inquiries, which he had promised, and take appropriate measures.
I would like to say it's good to see that at least the two ministers owns up and steps aside for the Commission of Inquiry. I would like to also extend this call to the Prime Minister, as there is another third minister's involvement in this saga, and that is the Lands Minister. It's not fair that the two ministers steps aside. The Lands Department was involved, therefore the Lands Minister was involved. I'm calling on the Prime Minister to also ask Honorable Benny Allen to step aside pending the outcome of the Commission of Inquiry, so that it will be fair to the two ministers.
National Superannuation Fund NASFund today sealed a deal with Kina Securities for the provision of funds administration services. This will see Kina managing a portfolio of around 4 billion Kina in superannuation savings for over 500,000 members of NASFund. This is in line with a vision of improving services offered by NASFund to its members in 2017.
Present at the signing were the heads of both NASFund and Kina. According to NASFund Chief Executive Officer Ian Taratia, the decision to select Kina as the preferred fund manager for NASFund was in line with a vision to improve its services to customers. This, he says, is looking promising given the advanced platforms that Kina is providing.
The fund administration service, which entails the recording, the upkeep of members' contributions and the processing. Appointment of Kina is in alignment with the NASFund board strategic positioning going forward, and it was important, to NASFund to keep abreast of the demands that have been placed on it by what we have now is a very, very well-informed membership, and a membership that has high expectations in terms of service delivery.
Kina Chief Executive Officer Sid Yates, when signing this deal, also reaffirmed the commitment by Kina to ensure value for money to NASFund members.
Being a homegrown company here in Papua New Guinea, that we can go and show that we can be as good as anywhere in the world, and that's what we're trying to do. We're entering into some exciting times over the next few years, and what we're trying to do is bring best service and technology to everyone and all the members here in Papua New Guinea.
This deal signals the start of a new direction for NASFund as the superannuation provider embarks on making its services more user-friendly for its members in the coming months.
So from August, members can expect to have a smartphone app. They can also expect to have an online portal. All of that will be in real time. So instead of them going to a branch to be inquiring, or instead of them calling the call center, all of that information will be on their fingertips.
Merabatulo, National MTV News.
The redevelopment of Arawa Health Centre will see the facility elevated to a Level 4 district hospital. According to Dr. Joe Villosi, the hospital will provide good clinical care for the people in the autonomous region of Bougainville. Fabian Hakelitz with this report.
This is where the iconic Arawa Hospital was located during the golden days of this mining township. However, all went into flames during the civil war on the island of Bougainville, with only skeletal remains of this infrastructure. However, medical care was provided using facilities of the Arawa School of Nursing after the Civil War and during the Restoration period. Contractor Honeybrooks are working around the clock to complete the jobs before the commissioning of this new facilities co-financed by the Australian government and the autonomous Bougainville government. Peter Owen, who is the district health manager, is satisfied with the progress of work and thanked the people of Australia for the infrastructure development worth 19 million kina.
5 new buildings. One is the extension of the maternity wing on the west wing, and two new administration blocks. One which was a temporary theater, and the other one is a family support center. And yeah, the project completion will be around mid-year this year, 2017.
Although shipping services is a bit challenged with materials purchased on time, but arriving late in the autonomous region of Bougainville, he's confident work will be completed on time.
So that's why the project is being delayed at the moment.
It's anticipated these new facilities and modern equipment funded by the autonomous Bougainville government worth 4 million kina will boost performance and improve patient care.
The theater, pathology, X-ray, incinerator, all these equipments are being purchased.
And a push for a new health facility, including the Arawa School of Nursing, became a reality when Dr. Velosi took this post in 2013. Dr. Velosi saw the need for a referral base for the people of Central and South Bougainville instead of going all the way to North Bougainville, accessing services at the Buka General Hospital, the only referral base for the autonomous region of Bougainville, which is costly and time-consuming. Dr. Velosi says with this new service, it will improve patient care.
However, with that, we also need the improved number of staff. The staff issue is a big concern for us at the moment. We have seen staff exit from the service, and a lot of staff left us well before crisis or in the midst of the crisis. I would like to say that with the improved infrastructure, we would also like to see improved number of staff.
In addressing the human resource crisis in the health sector, the Arawa School of Nursing was pushed to enroll students, and that was simply to fill in the missing gaps, something Dr. Velosi says was a critical need for the autonomous region of Bougainville.
We pushed for the school because we could see there was no way out. If we continue to recruit people, we don't have the surplus people outside to recruit. On top of that, we're coming out of a crisis situation, and people will be reluctant to come back.
And a challenge for all political leaders of Bougainville in the national government and also the autonomous Bougainville government to work together to embrace these opportunities and to move Bougainville forward as it prepares for its referendum come 2019. In Arawa, Central Bougainville, Fabian Hakelitz, National MTV News.
School principal of a secondary school in Western Highlands Province is urging the government to give guidelines to the tuition fee-free subsidy. Mr. John Mump of Mount Hagen Secondary School said the TFF component is not clear, which have prompted schools to charge extra fees. Mump said the school stopped operating as a boarding school last year due to funding shortage.
Mump spoke to MTV News off camera that there are no clear policy guidelines of TFF funding, which is causing problem for the school and parents. He said the education department is not precise on how much funding should go to tuition fee, project fee, boarding and lodging, stationaries and such. Mount Hagen Secondary received its first quarter TFF funding of 173,000 kina, but Mump said this was not enough. Hagen Secondary and Hagen Park Secondary schools are charging 270 kina each as uniform fees. Both are level 10 schools with 2,000 plus students every year. Mump said the operational cost for Hagen Secondary each year is 2 million kina, and they had switched to becoming a day school due to funding shortage. Mount Hagen Secondary School was operating as a boarding school for over 15 years until last year when the school decided to operate as day school. The school realized that if they continue, they won't make it to the end of 2016 with the subsidized funding. School principal John Mam told MTV News that this was done to avoid the risk of failing students. Meanwhile, Mam said with 2017 national elections nearing, the school do not want to take the risk and lodge students. Vasenata Yama, National MTV News, Mount Hagen.
A district authority in Eastern Highlands has spent over 9 million kina in the last 5 years on tuition fees for students attending universities and colleges around the country. The Hanganofi District Development Authority invested 2.1 million kina in students this year, despite the financial problems facing the country, thus affecting district funding. Hanganofi MP Robert Atiafa says change in a society comes from education. Bethany Herman with this story.
Hanganofi, in the Eastern Highlands province, a crowd of people gathers to witness a cheque presentation to students attending universities and colleges. The District Development Authority is paying for 900 students this year. It's spending over 2 million kina. That amount is expected to increase with more students still getting offers.
But we will now have to break it down and look at what areas we have to send students into. We've got university, we've got Unitec, and all these institutions here. But are we doing too many of one studies? Huh? Faculties need to be reviewed.
Elections is approaching, 5 months away. Robert Atiafa, the local member of parliament, and the police minister presents the cheques. Despite the financial problems faced by the country affecting district funding, Hanganofi students have been fortunate enough to get support from the government.
Me no regret to come up member of Hanganofi. Me no failure line blooming.
Robert Atiafa is a member of the People's National Congress Party and a state minister. He views education as a key area to spend government funds. He says it's an investment made for the country's future.
And having said that and having seen the resources that we have, resources that are yet to be developed, that we will tap into, we will need to put more emphasis on training our own Papua New Guineans to take charge of those industries.
While this move may be seen as political, the district has been paying for school fees for the last 5 years. It spent over 9 million kina of public funds. The district administration spending 9 million kina over 5 years is a lot of money. During financial problems, the district had to allocate money from non-essential areas into the program. It's in line with national government policies. Free education and health has been promoted by the PNC-led national government throughout its 5-year reign, and with elections approaching, it has become a pillar that could put the party in the minds of the people. Bethany Harriman, National MTV News, Lae.
Construction work on the second phase of the 300-meter West Taraka Road in Lae is nearing completion. Funding of 2 million kina was approved by the Provincial Executive Council for concrete slabs and street lighting. The JV-PNG investment construction started 3 weeks ago, and they hope to see its completion by next week. Lae Lord Mayor Koim Trilu Lae called on the residents of West Taraka to be responsible and take ownership of developments.
This is the construction of the 300-meter stretch of road at West Taraka, which is nearing completion. 2 million kina was allocated to JV Investment, who started work with concrete slabs 3 weeks ago. The money will also be used to construct solar street lights from the Mapai Transport Junction to the back of West Taraka.
The company policy is wherever we go, wherever we work, we engaged the local community, local people to help us. So that's why we have a record of finishing the work ahead of schedule.
The 300-meter-long road is part of the first phase of construction of the 2.6 kilometers, which started from the junction near the Bumbu Bridge to the back of West Taraka. The construction was half completed in September last year due to lack of funding. A father and a resident who has lived in West Taraka for more than 55 years was emotional when expressing his feelings of this development.
The all the community was struggling this road. Big benefit.
The Lay Lord Mayor Koim Trilu Lay, who was present at the construction site, called on the residents of West Taraka to be responsible and take care of the developments. Lay said more developments can arise if funds were forthcoming from the national government.
National government only rose him 400,000 local level government. Now you just imagine him. Mila happy lo Pamanigini, Mibla got a president within the Pamanigini, Mibla sim 100,000. As a lot me able city. You believe it or not, how about me running 100,000 or running Lay City blow me?
Julie Badui Owa, National MTV News, Lay.
And now looking at our finance news, the Kina opened unchanged at $0.3150 in the interbank markets. At Bank South Pacific, your Kina was buying $0.3075, $0.4004 Australian dollars, $0.2855 euro and 34.27 Japanese yen. Looking at commodity prices at New York close, gold, coffee and cocoa closed lower, copper closed the day higher. Palm oil and crude oil closed lower, while copper closed the day higher. And on the stock market, the Dow Jones closed at 37.87 points higher. The ASX is trading at 12.15 points lower, and the All Ordinaries closed at 68.6 points lower. Ahead on the news, 2017 PNG Women's Forum in Goroka and Red Cross provides relief supplies for victims of tribal conflict. Stay with us for details. Welcome back to the news. The 2017 PNG Women's Forum began yesterday with an expansion outside of Port Moresby. This year it is held for the women and men in the Highlands region. Hundreds of women and men gathered to participate at the two-day event themed Strengthening Our Voices. One of the objectives is to enable women to participate and effectively contribute to national development, politically, economically and socially. Michaeline Moebasi with this report from Goroka.
The 2017 PNG Women's Forum is held here at the University of Goroka. Organizers of the event, U.S. Embassy, Tribal Foundation and the Department of Community Development are backed by key partners to deliver this event, an expansion of the annual PNG Women's Forum, which has been held in Port Moresby over the last 3 years. This year, however, it's held in the Highlands region, with over 500 women and 100 men attending. The welcome address was of course delivered by the Governor for Eastern Highlands Province, Julie Soso, who is one of the 3 female members in Parliament and the first woman to be elected as Governor in the Highlands. For the first regional women's forum to be held here is very timely and symbolic.
And to bring such a forum out of Moresby into the provinces and into the regions, it really enhances and empowers the women to hear and to participate and to bring forward what are the issues that is really affecting them.
Describing the importance of a forum like this is United States Ambassador to PNG, Ambassador Catherine Ebert Gray, who maintains a strong stance in the advancement of women in Papua New Guinea.
We want to be closer to the ladies, closer to the women that are in the communities that are going to make a difference on women's empowerment in the country. And I'm just overwhelmed. I'm overwhelmed to see how they are already heavily participating at the community level in women's groups, in youth groups, and even in village governance. Because that's really the backbone of starting to have more women in politics and successful in business.
Managing Director for ExxonMobil PNG, Andrew Barry, also shared his personal story with the participants. ExxonMobil is one of several committed partners in the annual Women's Forums. Female participants attending the forum this year include those from Exxon's project area in the Hela province. And with the pipeline running through the Southern Highlands province, the women from these areas are considered key roles when organizing this event. Speaking on behalf of ExxonMobil is Sisa Kini, the Community Development Support Manager.
We're excited about the outcomes of this, and we just look forward to what the Highlands women are going to be able to do as a result of this workshop.
The forum also delivers workshops on communication skills, health awareness and women in politics. Michaeline Moyabasi, National MTV News, Goroka.
The International Committee of the Red Cross, or ICRC, carried out its first distribution of relief items in Enga Province last week. A total of 757 kits were distributed to over 500 families displaced by tribal fighting in the Pilikambi LLG. ICRC is mandated to protect and assist victims of armed conflict.
The two-day operation, which saw the distribution of over 700 relief kits, were given to families from the Talyul, Sikir and Andanti clans in the Pilikambi LLG of Enga Province. The items distributed included jerry cans, blankets, mosquito nets and kitchen items, all of which are intended to rebuild destroyed homes. The distribution, which took place at Kepelam Primary School and the village of Landelam, is the largest distribution the Geneva-based humanitarian organization has carried out in PNG. The distributions of the kits were given to the warring clans, which saw a joint effort from the ICRC and the Papua New Guinea Red Cross Society. ICRC's mandate is to protect and assist victims of armed conflict, and it has been operating mainly in the Highlands region. The organization also provides basic healthcare training and is tasked to ensure people have access to healthcare and clean water. Last year, they helped rebuild a health center in the Suku Valley of Kagwa Erave in the Southern Highlands province. Stanley Ove Jr., National MTV News.
Turning overseas, Brazil health officials have increased the production of the yellow fever vaccine as the country struggles with the worst outbreak on record, which has seen 180 cases since the start of December last year and 65 deaths, according to the government. The health ministry said on Monday a further 89 suspicious deaths and 751 possible cases of the illness are being investigated, meaning the toll could rise.
This has been the worst outbreak since statistics began in 1980 and far worse than the previous most serious outbreak in 2000, which saw 40 deaths and 85 confirmed cases. The call for people to get immunized in 9 out of Brazil's 26 states caused public health centers to run out of the vaccine at the start of the year, leading officials at the Fiocruz Institute in Rio de Janeiro to call for vaccination efforts to be localized in order to avoid panic.
From the end of December until now, 21,300,000 doses of vaccine have been distributed. Today, the Health Ministry's strategy is to mainly concentrate on yellow fever cases.
Most cases have been in southeastern Brazil, where 56 people have died. Another 6 died in Espírito Santo and 3 in São Paulo state. This was confirmed by Brazil's health ministry. Yellow fever is a viral disease found in tropical regions of Africa and the Americas that mainly affects humans and monkeys and is transmitted by the same type of mosquito that spreads dengue fever and the Zika virus. The outbreak comes as Brazil continues to battle Zika, which has led to a spike in babies being born with microcephaly, a condition marked by an abnormally small head and often resulting in grave developmental issues. Brazil has never managed to entirely eradicate rural yellow fever, but it has not registered cases of the disease in urban areas since 1942. The country advises visitors from abroad to be vaccinated for yellow fever. Lorraine Gabina, MTV World News.
After their win in the practice match against Sri Lanka, the Lawas go down to Bangladesh. That's next in Chukai Sports. Stay tuned.
Chukai Sports.
Welcome to Chukai Sports. In cricket, having defeated Sri Lanka on Friday in their practice match, the Lowers lost to Bangladesh with only 97 runs in their World Cup campaign. Batting first, the Bangladesh side's top order were on par as cumulative runs were already at 97 by the time the last of the top order took the crease. They eventually concluded the first inning at 215 for 6 after 50 overs. The second inning saw the Lowers chasing a target of 216. Brenda Tau, Tanya Ruma and Pauke Siaka led the chase. A Ruma-Siaka partnership saw a promising rise on the scoreboard, but it wasn't long before Bangladesh teams Yahanara Alam, Panam Ghosh and Salma Khatun swiftly bowled them out at just an accumulative 83 runs. Chances of recuperating were slim when the Lowers middle order went in. They were all out soon after at just 97 after 32.1 overs. Having lost to Thailand as well on Sunday by 9 wickets, they will get another shot at recovery this Friday against Pakistan. To football, 2015 NSL Grand Finalists Madang FC will join Lae City Dwellers as the second of Papua New Guinea's representative sides in the OFC Champions League. Madang FC were given the opportunity to represent PNG after the disqualification of Hikari United. Whilst two other clubs, Gigira Laitepo Morabe and Rapatona, were third and fourth respectively in the 2016 final series, no indication was given as to their non-selection by the OFC. Madang FC have been placed in Pool A of the Champions League alongside New Caledonian champions AS Magenta, AS Central Sport and Lupe Ole Soanga. The Lae City Dwellers have announced PNG international Emmanuel Simon as part of the new playing roster for the year. The silky midfielder, who played a large part in the middle for PNG during the OFC Nations Cup last year, will boost Lae City Dwellers, with head coach Peter Gunemba stating last week that they would miss the services of a number of big-name players this season. Simon joins a Lae side that is expecting to have captain Raymond Gunemba back in the fold ahead of the Champions League campaign and is expected to settle into the squad prior to their departure. Simon's move from 9-time PNG champions Hikari comes about as the midfielder takes another direction in his career. Still ahead on Chukai Sports, rugby league news at home and abroad. Stay tuned.
Chukai Sports.
Welcome back to Chukai Sports. The NRL Wellbeing Program aims to improve mental wellness, physical activity, nutrition and positive relationships among school children, using star NRL players like David Mead and Nene McDonald to emphasize key messages on health and well-being. Support has also come from our very own rugby league star and former SP Hunters captain Noel Zemming. Zemming, who recently graduated with a degree in secondary education, believes the program is significant and will pave way for a healthy generation. 44 leagues will attend the Papua New Guinea Rugby Football League annual general meeting on the 25th of February in Lae. The 44 leagues have met all affiliation criteria for 2016 and have complied with the PNG RFL constitutional requirements and are eligible to attend the AGM.
The 44 leagues comprise 13 from Southern, 4 from New Guinea Islands, 16 from the Highlands and 11 from Northern Confederates. Apart from the finance reports, there will be an election of a chairman and 4 respective Confederate directors. Nomination forms have been sent to each respective Confederate directors to distribute to their affiliated leagues. The nomination forms are numbered and marked and will be difficult to duplicate to avoid multiple nominations. Each affiliated league will nominate their person of choice, backed and signed by the nominee. Nominations will close this Friday, the 10th of February. Elijah Levet, National MTV Sports.
To NRL, former West Tigers lock Rod Griffin has signed a one-year deal with the Canterbury Bulldogs. This was announced by the club yesterday. Bulldogs head of recruitment Warren McDonald said the Papua New Guinea-born 30-year-old will bring depth and experience to the squad. His experience includes 9 tests for PNG, including the 2008 World Cup and the 2010 Four Nations. He was also in the Intrust Super Cup, playing for the 2015 premiers, the Ipswich Jets. And that ends Trukai Sports. The weather details when we come back. Stay tuned.
Trukai Sports. Trukai Sports.
The weather details are proudly brought to you by Dulux Weather Shield. Worth doing with Dulux.
Looking at the weather forecast for the next 24 hours, in the southern region, rain showers in Port Moresby, Daru and Kerema, thundery rain showers in Alotau and Popondetta. In the Momasi region, rain showers in all centres. In the New Guinea Islands region, some showers in all centres. And in the Highlands region, rain showers tonight, then expected morning fog in all centres. Forecast for small ships for the next 24 hours. Strong wind warning current to all coastal waters of southern PNG Indonesian border through Torres Strait and Daru to Kiwai Island to Kerema, to Yule Island to Hood Point, to Milne Bay Islands and Bougainville.
The weather details are proudly brought to you by Dulux Weather Shield. Worth doing with Dulux.
Now recapping our main stories for tonight. Stage set for PNG's inaugural Energy Summit. Hela judge calls for unity in provincial justice sector and better clinical care for Bougainville. And that's been the news, sports and weather for tonight. On behalf of the entire MTV News team, pleasant viewing. Good night.